Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Health First. Today I'm here with Dr. Haddad, who is a cosmetic dentist. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Emily?
I'm great. Thank you for joining me here today. I would like to start off by asking what influenced you to pursue a career in dentistry?
So the way that I even thought about becoming a dentist was shadowing a dentist. So that was a very big thing for me. Is taking the time. I didn't only just shadow a dentist. I shadowed doctors, in different specialties. So pediatrics, OBGYN. I also shadowed physical therapists, anything that was health related that I thought would be interesting to me. I ended up going into the workspace just so that I could see whether or not it would be of interest to me or if I like the environment because you could only read about it so much in books and online and whatnot. So once I took the time to shadow a dentist, I really loved the work that was being done, the time that was spent with the patients, the interaction, and that's how I really ended up having that passion for dentistry
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah, and you are a cosmetic dentist. How did you choose your specialty?
So it's really funny. During dental school, again, being part of the process and doing the work, doing different rotations in dentistry and in dental school allows you to really determine whether or not you liked a certain specialty or not. So one thing that I loved doing even before I started dental school was working with little kids. So I always thought to myself, oh my God, I'm going to be a pediatric dentist. And then once I started doing the work in dental school and I realized how much I loved just making someone smile so beautiful, and it just really was art to me, and I realized I couldn't do that with kids um, as much as I could with adults. And
Mhm.
so that's how I ended up choosing cosmetic dentistry.
Yeah, and can you tell me a little more about your profession and what you do?
So, as a dentist, as a general and cosmetic dentist, I typically will see patients for their yearly exams. I've also get lots of calls to get consultations for dental work to fix their smile in the front, and that's a huge part of it. A huge part of my business is bonding, and that's kind of a specialty in dentistry to where you know one of the techniques that
Mhm.
you really have to have practice and exposure to. I love it so much. Like I said, it's art to me, and so that's really what it is that I focus on. I don't place implants. I don't do extractions. I don't do gum surgery or anything like that. I really work with specialists who have gone to school a couple more years than I did for that, and I typically just focus on more of the cosmetic and general, dentistry
Yeah,
for my patients. So
yeah, and what do you like most about your profession?
I love the interaction with my patients. I think it is so fun. That plus actually doing the work, which is really weird. Like when I'm doing my work, it's as if I'm painting, you know? I'm like in my own zone. I'm so focused and I don't think about anything else. And it's like my alone time. It's my little masterpiece in the mouth, which is really weird to hear, but that's really what I love most about it. Is just beautifying, restoring a tooth, making it healthy again, making it beautiful to its natural look, and spending time with my patients, making them not be scared of a dentist. A lot of people have fear of dentistry. I am a baby as a patient myself. When I go to the doctor, I'm like, what are you going to do? How's this going to feel? So that's a huge part of my job, is to actually make them feel relaxed, make them know that dentistry should not be painful, and it could be just so something that's not a bad experience from what they've had in the past. So
Yeah, definitely. And I'm the same way for doctors, but I've always loved going to my dentist because she made me feel like comfortable and she always told me what she was doing.
yeah,
So,
exactly. It's fun. It depends on your experience and all that.
yeah. And as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected the world and continues to do so. So, how is it like working throughout the pandemic?
It was very interesting. I mean, I remember when we had to just gear up like no other. It was so funny when we were quarantined. I had to go to the office, pick up, all the new equipment that we had to wear, face shield, the N95 Max. I would be at home, um, just practicing and being in such, gowns and not being able to breathe as easily as we once were with just masks.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was a little transition. But I told myself, I'm like, I'll be able to work through it. It'll be okay. Taking once you're in school and you're in dental school and you learn about how a virus is contracted, it's just not going to be like midair and it's going to go through you. So once you kind of know, okay, this is how a virus can enter the system and or can be transmitted from one person to another, you really know that, okay, I need to make sure all surfaces are clean, we're taking precautions. The equipment was great to have. It's just an additional protection, but we are one of the, I would say, for dentistry, just the amount of cleanliness and protocol that we have, you know, in general before COVID came out was already pretty, pretty intense. So um, there have been so many other viruses in the past that's come out. I mean, AIDS was a huge one in the past.
Mhm.
So treating it very similarly, I mean, and just working through it. It was a little bit of an adjustment with the mask because there were times where you're just wearing it all day. You would kind of get a headache, your ears would hurt because of the band. You would just get a huge mark on your face. But once we kind of went past that, it was fine. So, and people got comfortable and saw that they weren't getting COVID through the dental office. I mean, because
Yeah.
of the protection we already have. So, it was all an adjustment, all in itself. So, but it is what it is. That's how life is. You just kind of have to go with the flow sometimes and learn how to adjust to certain changes that can come about.
Yeah, I actually work in a dental office right now, and I think the protocols are amazing. I think that there's like no spread in our office, which is amazing.
I mean, you see, right? Like what they have to do to prepare a room, to sterilize the instruments, how to carefully remove your mask, collect all the
Mhm.
soiled, instruments, and there is a whole protocol that you follow. What do you do at the dental office right now?
Yeah, I do a lot of sterilization and like I also do like shadowing and observing. But like every day I go, they like introduce me to new things as well. So I learn to take like pictures and x-rays, but also I wipe the chairs after each person. So I definitely see that there's a lot of like protocols and
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true. And we even have like purifiers, which we didn't have before the pandemic, and those have stayed. I mean, those are nice to have, in the dental office. It just limits the number of aerosols and all that in the air. But overall, it's been great. So,
yeah. And to end off, can you give a few words of advice to the people of my generation hoping to pursue a career in dentistry?
the most important thing is really taking the time. I love telling, anyone who's interested in whatever career to take the time to not only focus on doing well in your, in your grades and in the classes, but go and take the time to meet different professionals and really make a list of like, hey, I would be interested in X, Y, and Z, and can I shadow you? Can I, just be in the environment of, you know, maybe you're interested in being an optometrist or a plastic surgeon. I mean, those are all um, careers that take a lot of time, a lot of dedication. And before you just kind of say, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. And then all of a sudden you're in graduate school and you're hating it.
Mhm.
Um, it's best to do it. That's what I did. And it was the most helpful thing. That's how I decided to become a dentist. And that's how my passion grew so much. And that's how I succeeded in dental school and in my career. So that passion will ignite you to work hard to just go through those tough times. It's not easy. Nothing is easy.
Mhm.
So you know if you have that encouragement of, what, this is why I took the time and I love it and nothing's going to change my mind about this, you'll do great. So take the time, go to different professions that you might be interested in, even if you're 100% sure about dentistry. That way you can rule it out and you're like, oh, I've tried it, I've looked into it, it's not for me. So
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I'm doing with this channel. I started it like a year ago, and I'm interviewing different medical professionals like in medicine, dentistry, and mental health to like explore different fields. And now that they're taking volunteers again, I'm starting to shadow and work in like different offices. Like for
I
now,
love what you're doing so well, like doing this. It's very helpful, for you, for others. Um, and like I said, you get to really hear people out. I would go shadow doctors, for example, and pediatric doctors. Like that was my original passion is I want to take care of little kids. And a lot of doctors would tell me like it's not worth it. They literally would tell me this to my face while I was shadowing them. And they would be like, it's a lot of work. You don't get that much time to spend with your family. Um, you know, and I've had dentists who are like, it's very stressful,
yeah.
it's not fun. I mean, you hear it from different people, and you have to decide at the end of the day what you like and what you don't like. So
I, mhm. I've always been told how important shadowing is, and well, during the year we weren't really able to do that because of COVID. So I turned to YouTube, but now like we're able to. So I'm definitely planning on doing more like shadowing.
it's so nice to like be in person and stuff. But you guys have the advantage of YouTube. When I was growing up, it was like all starting. So
Mhm.
take advantage of whatever's online, that connection, social media.
Mhm.
You can ask away, and it's fun. I get to meet you. And if you need anything, I'm here for you guys. Just like I've had others that were there for me when I was your age. So
Mhm.
we're all here for each other. You can't do this alone. And I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me. I love doing stuff like this for anyone who is interested or needs help or guidance or suggestions or whatnot. So,
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your time.
of course. And if, enjoy every moment, don't rush into anything, just take the time, have fun.
Mhm.
Um, you're only in school once. I loved school and I loved being in school. I loved being with my classmates, meeting new
Mhm.
people, learning new things. So it's such a fun opportunity. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of meeting people who want to help you decide whether or not you want to, do something.
Yeah.
Um, and really, that's my advice for you. So
Yeah,
have,
thank you so much.
of course.